Hi everybody. So since I made the mullet spinning video, I've had one or two questions about the unweighted spinners I used in that, and today I'm going to show you how to make one. So let's go through all the little bits and pieces that I've got here. Got a piece of wire to make the body of the spinner. Got a size 4 spinner blade, some clevises, some little metal beads and some coloured beads. I've also got some size 6 Aberdeen hooks. I've got some 0.35 fluorocarbon for my trace. I've got a lighter, I'll explain that in a bit. I've got a pair of wire cutters. I've got a pair of round nose pliers as well. So what we're going to model it on is this sort of thing. This is typical of what I'd use for a golden grey. It's got a single small hook, quite a light trace, and it's designed for using with harbour ragworm really. So we'll make one of these, but with orange beads for fun. So we'll get started. Pick up your wire. Now what I do is just bend it over with the round nose pliers. And then I'll hold it with the loop made and just wrap these over by hand. Oops. Like I say, I'm not very good at this. I'm sure lots of you out there get much better results, but the ones I make don't come apart, so I'm happy enough. Now you can see that loop is all skew if. What I'll do is I'll just bend it back over. Now it's nice and straight. Nip that tag end off. I'll go rocketing off into some dark recess of my shed, never to be seen again. So after we've done that, one of these metal beads, slide that on there. Get our clevis and spinner blade. Spinner blade goes on the clevis. Clevis goes on the wire. You can see the spinner starting to take shape. Put one of these metal beads on. I don't use these for any particular reason, by the way. They just came with the kit that the mate Mark lent me, so I just used them without even thinking, and I didn't really see any reason why not. So, coloured beads on. These are largish plastic beads, so I'll just use 4 of those. And you can see that's the body of the spinner. What we need to do now is make another loop. Get the pliers, hold it. And get a few turns on. Don't make it too tight. You don't want it so tight that the spinner doesn't rotate. Nip that tag end off. Another one goes into the shed. There you go. That's the body of the spinner done. At this stage what we can do is tie the trace on. Just take a length of fluorocarbon. If at this point you wanted to add an anti-tangle sleeve, you can. I do that sometimes. It does, I think it makes a difference in the hook not fouling the spinner blade and the main body of the spinner. It's not infallible, but it does help a little bit. But for the sake of brevity, I won't bother with one on this. single size 6 hook. Now experience will tell you how much trace you need to leave before you tie a knot to make sure you've got the length of trace that you want for your actual hook and spinner. You know, you can keep practicing until you get that right really. It's all it's costing you is just a little length of line. So today that looks right to me. Moisten the knot. Cinch it down. There you go. That's pretty typical of the kind of spinner I'd use for golden greys. There's one last thing that I like to do. Still got a bit of tag hanging off that knot. So what I like to do is just very carefully blob it down. And this ensures that the tag doesn't interfere with the worm. So the worm is free to slide up and down the line, and that will make sure that things stay straight and you don't get horrible kinks in. Sometimes if you've got a tag sticking out, it'll put a hole in the side of the worm and it will catch and make a horrible bend that will cause a nasty oscillation with the worm. And as we discussed in the mullet spinning video, the fish don't like that. So do everything you can to keep the worm straight. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and you've learnt a bit, and it's given you the confidence to start making some unweighted spinners of your own. Especially with a bombarda float, they can be really effective and they've caught lots of mullet for me, so they're definitely worth your time. All the little spinner making odds and ends that I've used in the video are available from a company called SpinTech. I'll put a link to them in the description. If you're interested in making the more traditional converted Mepps style spinner, there's an excellent video already out by Christchurch Angling Centre that I'll link right here, so you can check that out if that's your bag as well. Till next time, cheers.